Hello, cherished viewers from all over the world. Greetings to you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Bisefata is my name, from Ghana, West Africa. Welcome to my program, Mining for the Truth, which refers to the process of digging to discover the undiluted doctrines of Christ, our Church of Christ. It has two purposes as follows. One, to teach the word. John 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. If you want to prove it, go to Genesis 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The plural Hebrew word for God there is Elohim, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, the Son, Jesus Christ. The Word is the Son, and then the truth. Two, to teach the truth. John 8:32, as you can see on the screen. And you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What is the truth? John 17:17. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. What is the truth manifestation? John 14 verse 6. And Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me, or except through me. I welcome all my viewers from all over the world: Australia, USA, Dubai, Nigeria, India, Pakistan, everywhere. UMAT Campus Church, you are welcome officially. All members are welcome. My brothers, you have been doing well. I have never seen younger ones who are enthusiastic to work for the Lord wholeheartedly. There is Odonko, Mrs. Ata. You are welcome. I love you and I've missed you so much. With time, God is going to fulfill His promises with you. Having said that, we are treating the book of Ecclesiastes. And from last week, we are done with the overview, episodes 1 and 2. We looked at the biodata, or who was King Solomon, or the biography of the author King Solomon. Today we are going to start chapter 1. And chapter 1, I'll break it into 2. So we say the pedagogy of the chapters and verses of Ecclesiastes 1 to 12. So therefore, today I'm going to break the chapter 1 into episodes 1 and then 2. So today I will treat chapter 1, episode 1. Next time we'll continue with chapter 1, episode 2, before we move to chapter 2. Of course, the chapter 1 alone is 4 pages. And as I've been saying, it is a full book. So I'm not going to rush to teach. I have my 2 Bibles. There are 3 actually. We have this as NIV. I don't use NIV to study my Bible officially or to prepare my teachings. I don't use NIV most often. By then, my online program requires that I use NIV. So I mean to say that I'm using the NIV for the online program. That's why I have it. But most I don't use it. The Bibles that I've been using are the New King James plus the New American Standard Bible, as you can see on the board. New American Standard, so NASB, and then the New King James Version. These are the Bibles that I use a lot. However, I use the New King James Version more, as we can see on the screen. This is what I've been using to teach since we began. Now, there's a saying that there's a phrase called memento mori. Memento mori. It is a phrase, and it is saying that remember that you will die. Remember that you will die. And the book of Ecclesiastes is also saying that all is vanity. Vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. So remember, Mostly we don't think or plan ahead of our last days on earth. No one is going to live forever. No one is going to live forever. So whether you like it or not, we are going to die. Memento mori means that remember that you will die. We will all die. Nothing lasts forever. Even all what we are dying for are temporal. Today we will see that even the blessings of God are temporal, in the sense that it will last while we are on earth. For example, God has blessed me to go and buy a car. I'm not going to heaven with this car. I will leave it and then I'll go away. Now today we have two major objectives. One, the preacher's purpose. And then we will also look at going around in circle. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 1 to 8. Actually today, by calculation, the camera is closer to the TV. 2 meters. And 2 meters in metric or millimeters means 2000 millimeters. Of course, in imperial centimeters, 200 millimeters. Times 10 and divided by, times 100 and then times 10 if you want. Alright, we move on to what we have today. In Bible studies, there's no need to confuse the audience with your field of study. So when I come here, I don't want to talk about engineering. We are learning the Bible, so we move straight to the Bible. So chapter 1, as you can see on the board, the preacher's purpose is what we're going to look at. His reason for the book. So it is more or less introduction. The purpose of the writer of Ecclesiastes is to reflect upon his own futile efforts to discover the ultimate meaning and aim amidst life's mystifications, and to warn those who would arrive after him, especially the young. That's the essence of Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. That nothing under the sun will ever fulfill the eternal longing which God has put in the heart of a man. We will read the Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. But before then, we made mention on the first sentence that the purpose of the writer of Ecclesiastes is to reflect upon his own futile efforts. Now, a futile part of speech is an adjective. Yes. Part of speech for futile is adjective. And it means that serving no useful purpose. That's all. Serving no useful purpose. So his own futile efforts. So means that upon all what he did, it couldn't serve any beneficial effort. Rather, it was useless. Upon all his toil, upon all what he did, upon all his abilities, it was a futile effort. To discover ultimate meaning, he pursued ambition to the apex, and it served no useful purpose or purposes. Let's read Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. Of course, I will still be using the New King James, actually. So 3 verse 11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts, except that none can find out the work that God does from beginning to the end. I mean, who are you to penetrate the wisdom of God? People have been researching. Some have even concluded superficially and ignorantly that God does not exist. They have never seen hell before. They have never seen heaven before. Initially, I remember when I was an apprentice, there was a radio tied to the central pole of our tent. So we hear people on radio. I died and then I went to heaven. I saw this. I saw that. I died and then I went to hell. And then I saw this person. It was later that I began to read the Bible that they were all lies. Or they were all lies. When you die, you don't even go to heaven. When you die, you don't even go to hell. You cannot see heaven or hell. It is impossible. I mean, it is a fable, fake stories to deceive. And people were believing. At times, they went to churches to give false evidences. Okay. When we die, you are either in paradise or Tartarus. Luke 16, verse 23, downwards. As we can read from the rich man and then Lazarus. So no matter who you are, you can't penetrate the wisdom of God. So we are saying that King Solomon saw that upon all what he toiled for, all what he gained, material things served no practical purpose. So he said that ultimate meaning and aim amidst life mystifications. And that's why he's warning you and I. Now, if King Solomon, the richest man on earth, is telling you and I, so to warn the young, the youth means you and I, of course he's older than us, means that even himself found no usefulness to upon all what he acquired. How much more you and I? So he's saying that who would arrive after him, that nothing under the sun will ever fulfill the eternal longing which God has put in the heart of a man. So what's the problem? Upon all what we are dying for. Initially, I've been showing the picture. Let me show it again and then you will see. I don't want to be coming to the screen because someone was complaining that I was blocking the view. Sorry. So you can see the picture. By way of illustration, I will go there. Okay, at least we can see them from where they are. You see, we have this as the first step, and we all climb. So we can say level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 before we achieve the crown. So let's say they are the university, level 100, 200, 300, 400 before they are given their class. First class, second class upper, second class lower, third class pass. So you see that even upon all what we are going through, there is nothing new under the sun. And it will serve no practical or meaningful purpose. It is futile. Does not mean that don't live life, don't go to school, do not learn work, do not pursue a career. No, but we're saying that at the end of it all, we gain nothing. It is for this reason that he assumes the role of a preacher, that's a cohelate or cohelate, or one who calls together or addresses an assembly. That's from the Greek. Ecclesiastes refers to ecclesia. It means a congregation or assembly. Now, how do you understand this phrase? Of course, people refer to the book of Ecclesiastes as wisdom literature, if you want, or book of wisdom literature. Now, why is King Solomon saying this? That he's a preacher, he's a teacher. A teacher is someone who is knowledgeable to impart knowledge. In fact, many a time, I have some mentees that I mentor, as teachers. Some are doing diploma in education, and some are doing Bachelor of Education. My first question to them is that, why are you going to class? And they will say, in fact, always, and I'm surprised, I'm going to teach. It is a failure. How can you go to class to teach? How possible? At times I wonder if your common sense is good, actually. As such, the school knowledge. A human being must have a common sense. How can I go to class to teach that I'm a teacher? So I'm going to class to teach. How possible? I'm a lecturer. I'm going to class to lecture, to teach. You don't understand education. I don't know where you learn your education from. But you don't go to class to teach. Of course, I won't teach you. All right. So he assumed the role of a teacher to direct people. That's why the Kohelet is making reference to a preacher. The role of a preacher is to lead a congregation, is to pray for them. His business is evangelism, to plant churches, and to be concerned with the spiritual well-being of the flock. The preacher does not lead any member to heaven. This is gross deviation. Of course, considering John 14 verse 6, Act 4 verse 12. Christ is the only judge. Christ is the only name mentioned in the Bible, and no one else. I made mention of the preacher to plant churches. He can't do it alone. Go ye therefore is for every Christian. I'm not a specific Christian. If you go to Acts 8 verse 4, they went out. They were scattered. They preached. They means that they were Christians. And even the apostles remained at Jerusalem. So the disciples went out to preach. And after they had won a soul for baptism, then the apostles will then go there to intercede, of course, for the Holy Spirit's baptism, or to have the influence of the Holy Spirit on them. Every Christian, so the preacher is also a Christian. Don't sit down idly. Be a bystander. Sit idly by, unconcerned, while things are happening. But I'm looking unto him. He has to do it. You must help him to plant the church. So the role of a preacher, a teacher, is also the same as the role of King Solomon. I hope I'm not confusing you. Of course, I'm a trained teacher anyway. Yet, it is evident that Solomon views his counsel, advice, so he was admonishing, not as a mere prudent advice, but as words of truth, given by one shepherd. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 10 to 11. Let's read. I love this part. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 10 to 11. I read. The preacher sought to find acceptable words, and what was written was upright. That means words of truth. The words of the wise are like gods or goats, and the words of scholars are like well-driven nails given by one shepherd. Well-driven nails given by one shepherd. It is evident that Solomon views his counsel not as mere prudence. So don't think that he was speaking from his own. Solomon was not speaking from his own, but the words of truth. From who? 2 Timothy 3 verse 16a. 2 Timothy 3 verse 16a. So I'm going to the New Testament. So 3 verse 16a. Only the A. All scriptures is given by inspiration of God. All scriptures is given by inspiration of God. So I think this will line with King Solomon that the words of this book, which book? The book of Ecclesiastes, invent from God. The invention, the inventor is God. We have people who debate ignorantly that Bible is incomplete. A whole lot. Of course, I'm happy. You see, now I'm always happy when a human being wastes his life on useless arguments. I become so happy. I've been saying that I'm a teacher. I don't force my students that they should learn. I will never remind you that study because there's a pending exams. It is none of my business. That isn't my purpose of going to the school. I can only motivate you to study. I can only encourage you to study. I cannot coerce you to study. So if you are interested in football matches, if that is none of my business. It is your future, not mine. So I don't waste my time to debate unnecessarily, to go to class, to worry myself. I will never do it. What was the reason of going to the school? I've been asking them. Sometimes when I'm roaming and I see them misbehaving, then I ask them that, supposing that you are at the workshop, maybe you are a fitter, will you sit idle by? They will say no, sir. Then I will tell them that you are wasting productive hours. So people have been debating that the Bible was written by mere human beings. I'm trying to draw some conclusion here. It is quite surprising. And I'm not surprised. Because the first people to disrespect God were Adam and Eve, which was invented by Cain. Arrogance. So if you are also disrespecting them, it is just an inheritance from our first parents. How can a human being, how dare you, in this your minute knowledge, what at all do you know? What you know? Who gave you the knowledge to study? And you think now you are on your own, so you can challenge God. You will die to meet him, irrespective of your faith and what you believe in. My friend, my brother, my sister, no matter the stubbornness and hardness of your heart, Jesus Christ is the only Savior and Judge and Lord. Period. You can debate it. You can be entitled to your own opinion. By the end, will justify the means. The end is when you have died and you see your foolishness. That, I had been a fool when I had a life. So also happened to the rich man. He lived a life with disregard for God. That's why he went to the Taros, and Lazarus went to the opposite. So also we are. King Solomon isn't speaking on his own yet. This is what the clarification that I want to make. The word of this book, as I said, which book? The book of Ecclesiastes, invents from God. Do you know an inventor is someone who patents an idea? So King Solomon wasn't speaking of his own. The Bible was inspired by God. As I'm speaking here, God is speaking through me. He will not waste his time to descend from heaven to come down to teach. He is using delegates. All the apostles were delegates. All the prophets were delegates. King Solomon equally was a delegate. So God was speaking through him. So don't sit down idle by and assume that the Bible is incomplete. What do you mean? What fact do you have? The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19a. And Colossians 2 verse 8. Let's read something there. Yeah, I'm sure Colossians 2 verse 8. Yes, I'm sure. Because they move together. Of course, it moves with the 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19a. Colossians 2 verse 8. Very good. Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit. Philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. Then I'll qualify myself with the 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19. I want to read so that someone will not think that I am only guessing. 19a, only the first part. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. So what you know in Ecclesiastes 2 verse 8, that I'm a professor of philosophy, that I've gone to space, I've done, I've read astronomy, I've done this, I've done philosophy of education, I've read history, that there's no God. That's what we read in Ecclesiastes 2 verse 8, that do not be deceived by the philosophy and deceit of this world, and not according to Christ. And even if you have all this knowledge in your head, 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19 is saying that, for that your wisdom is foolishness with God. Noah Webster said that education without the Bible is useless. So what do you mean by your professor of mathematics? Minus God, it is useless. I said in the Bible, or by the writer Noah Webster. Go and then go online to read if I'm lying. Noah Webster said that education without the Bible is useless, and it is true. All right, we move on. Now Solomon is simply declaring that man by his unaided wisdom will never penetrate the mystery that guards the purpose of God. Yes, very, very good. I didn't even know that it was down here. And no matter what you do, unless God permits you, you don't qualify. The creator is not equal to the creator. That's why Satan was easily defeated by the archangel Michael and other supporting angels. He was a creature. He was not above the creator. He is not above the creator. You are not above your master. He anticipates the word of Paul that God in his wisdom has determined that man by his wisdom would never know him, never. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 21. 1 Corinthians 1:21. For since in the wisdom of God, the world through wisdom did not know God, it pleased God through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. Who are you? Even I myself, of course, as I've been saying that I'm a mentor to females. Among all the females, the one who knows me better is Doris Odonko. That's why I always have been mentioning her name. She knows me best. That one is a fact. She knows me better and best because I allowed her to know who I am. So unless, even as we are walking, for example, the wife and then the husband, one can choose to be secret and then pretending. How can you know someone's inner character? You never know it. I can be angry as I'm standing here, and I can also be not angry. We change due to circumstances. So you don't judge based on some kind of superficial attitude. It's wrong. Or gestures. We all change. Maybe the person was even doing so to know your thought about him or her. The person was pretending so that you will also reveal some hidden fact to him or her. So also God is saying that unless he decides, you can never know him. The apostle also says that God, because of sin, subjected the creation to futility. Romans 3 verse 20. Already you are a sinner. So why should he allow you to know him much? Sin is man's greatest problem. So no man is righteous in this life. No man is righteous in this life. Today we are righteous, tomorrow we are sinners. And even today, we can be righteous and sinners. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin, God's righteousness through faith. You can even end up of sin. None is righteous. So God will decide who will know him better and best. The apostle also says that, I'm repeating, God, because of sin, subjected the creation to futility. Futility is a noun, I'm sure. And it means uselessness. If I took my time to study English, actually, before I attempted to teach online. For 2 years, actually. I'm in USA. I'm not condemning African Bible studies, but I prefer from international level anyway. All right, so part of speech for futility is uselessness. So here I will read, and then I think you understand the meaning of the futility. The apostle also says that God, because of sin, subjected the creation to uselessness. Means that now I bought this water. It was full. Now getting finished. So it will serve no purpose again. Okay. We are sinners. And no matter what we do, continuously we will sin. Whatever we will achieve is useless. Useless in a sense that it will not last forever. We go out to buy foods that we cherish most in abundance. They will still get finished. And then sometimes you go and then it is scarce. So God has left all the creation, precisely you and I, to futility. Because we cannot be as righteous as He wants. And whatever we are pursuing will not fulfill the real meaning of life. Ecclesiastes is simply making this same point, but in a more stagey and explicit way. And though the preacher, unlike the apostle, has no gospel of grace to preach, he does anticipate it, finding the resolution of all things in God. When we say resolution, there will be solution, okay? And resolute means to provide some solution. The purpose of Ecclesiastes seems fairly clear, but it does not yield to an obvious clear-cut outline. Yes, at times, the themes are even repeating. Vanity upon vanity. Life is meaningless, which is God for God. So you can imagine, at times it is even frustrating to understand. People, some even don't want to read it. So is King Solomon telling us that money is evil? Is it wrong to enjoy? No, he's not. He isn't saying so. But it is still meaningless. And very soon, when you go for a party, you cannot enjoy forever. People who are dancing become tired. Those who are singing become tired. The DJ, the player of the songs, even become tired. Those who are cooking become tired. Why? Because of time. You can't dance or make merry 24 hours from today 12 p.m. tomorrow 12 p.m. You are a human being. You feel tired. So he's saying meaningless. Chasing after wind. Life without God. Life without regard for God is meaningless. So you must have regard for God. The book seems to spiral freely and repeatedly through the same themes of very good. What I was saying was even here. Themes of the world's bewildering contradictions and frustrations, and the confidence that the God who sits above the sun will bring an ultimate resolution. Bewildering is an adjective. It is saying that the book seems to spiral freely and repeatedly through the same themes of the world's bewildering contradictions and frustrations. Bewildering is an adjective, which means extremely confusing. So I'm reading the same note. So bewildering is here. Maybe you may not say it well. But the part of speech there is adjective. Extremely confusing or difficult to comprehend. We move on. So you can see that he mentioned bewildering contradictions and frustrations. we don't understand our life. Today we are happy, tomorrow we are sad. Today we are excited, the next day we are frustrated. And there are more contradictions. There are series of contradictions in our own lives. You plant and then the rain may destroy it, of course, by natural occurrence. So you wonder upon all what you have labored. Now you've come to stand still. But however, we are still having confidence in God that He alone, who sits above heaven, will bring an ultimate resolution, comfortability. He is going to solve our problems and we'll be happy. That's why we must always believe in Him and trust our life even to Him. The life that we are living is borrowed and it is not guaranteed. If I can die at any time, it is by God's grace. That's why I can breathe. It is by His grace and not by my might. Man finds his center not in the world of vanity, but in the God of eternity. Man finds his center not in the world of vanity, but in the God of eternity. God is eternal, forever, everlasting. So now our central of being alive, or our reason of living, our life is dependent on God, not in this world. So those who are joining Freemason and then other aquatic gangs, they have entrusted their lives into their lords or their commanders. One day you go there and you see that he too is dead. Hey, the person who gave you a ring, protection ring, is dead. So what will you do? However, he promised you that he is going to see to it that nothing will happen to you. At times you see this in movies, that someone will promise nothing, that I promise that nothing will happen to you. The mentee tends to die many a time. Your life isn't in the hands of anybody, but with God it is forever. Man finds his center not in the world of vanity, but in the God of eternity. Of course, I'm trying to rhyme. Two lessons are here. One, the critical significance of seeking ultimate meaning and fulfillment in the Creator rather than creation. Do you find your ultimate meaning, your purpose in life, in creatures, in creation, or in God? Is it in human being, material things, or in God? So these are things that we can deduce from the preacher's purpose. Seeking ultimate meaning and fulfillment in the Creator rather than. So people are interested, they have, it is a problem. Some can't even sleep. They will tell you that you don't have to sleep 8 hours a day because you are lazy. Because of money, don't even sleep. That is quite surprising. That because of money, they go online to confuse people. That I achieved this when I was 15 years of age. I achieved this when I was 25 years of age. I became the youngest professor at the age of 18. So no problem with that. I mean, it's good. It is good to have a purpose in life. To travel overseas, you must live and enjoy life. But I wonder, we have boxers who have won national medals and awards. I mean, the sportsmen, movie actors and actresses, musicians, they go for hours at a time. They even have to fight. They pay money, a whole lot. I ask myself that, why are they wasting their time? Yes, I wonder. All these awards, they go nowhere. So I'm quite surprised that they are dying to win an award, to win the belt. I mean, title belt in terms of the boxing and then I'm surprised. Using all this strength to achieve perishable items or titles. They will fleet. We say fleeting legacy or fleeting world. They will all be gone with time, especially when you die. They become useless. Because the title may not bear the name of the next of kin. My child carries a certificate to work. Otherwise, he or she wouldn't even have to go to school. Because I have many certificates down there. Even if he wants to preach, he can use my set to preach. But he also has to go for or attain his own. So I wonder, why don't you channel this, your energy and enthusiasm into God's work? Where that one, you'll be granted heaven. And upon all these achievements, they are going to hell, actually. You see, when I say this, the people are annoyed. But the truth must hurt, indeed. Where there's light, darkness will vanish away and then will go. You see? They're struggling. Some are having surgeries upon surgeries. Fractured knee, ankle. Some surgery on the eye, the knee. I am surprised that have they been brainwashed or what? And they are all not Christians though. They are just believers. And a believer of some faith, not after Christ. You go to hell at the end. You challenge me there and see. Yes. I'm saying that the end will justify the means. I feel no one, I feel facts. Of course, I don't come here to impress. And I don't do anything for anyone to applaud or to clap for me. No. I'm here with Christ, Philippians 4 verse 18. With him I'm content, period. So I've never thought to impress no one. Maybe my topic was for you, but it was not for you. When I was preparing the topic, I never knew you. Your mind wasn't even in my mind anyway. So I don't waste my time on worldly titles to mean something for an organization. It is good. I mean, it would be better that I'm able to lead my institution to mean something. I remember recently there was a sporting games in our school. So on the Friday, the teachers were to play with the students. So on Monday, there's an old student now in our department. So, oh, Mr. Atta, I didn't see you on the field. I laughed. I told him that I studied. So in case the institution is going for quiz competition, I'm going to represent. He laughed and laughed. Yes. I am a bookworm. Everyone has his or her own strengths. So when the school is looking for someone to go and then represent them academically, I'll be there to do so. Some too are sportsmen and women, so they went there to play with the students. But you see, there's a question here. School also encourages, or it is good to take part in co-curricular activities, but it is actually disrespect and downgrading for a teacher to play a match with a student. You might say that it is nothing, fine, but you are losing respect. On the pitch, how will he see you? He sees you as a normal player. If you're not careful, he can even fracture your leg. And on the pitch, everybody there is arrogant, in case you are unaware. Because you have run and your system has heated. He might not mind to insult a teacher. This, for example, if there's a foul, this isn't foul, this and that, there's going to be an exchange of words. If you're a teacher, trained teacher actually, you must know how to relate with students. There must always be a clearance. There must always be a clearance. So as you see me, whether you give me money or not, I will never play with any student. In fact, I don't even like to play football. And I don't even sit with them to crack useless jokes. No. If you want advise you, come, I'll advise you. But I will not sit down to chat with you on useless issues. Maybe they're debating and I'm supporting. No. I mean, how would they respect you? That you are amidst a student and they are making argument, useless argument. In case of any question, you come to my office, you bring your question on board, and then I will explain. It could be from the book or your personal question. That's the essence of being a teacher. However, I don't condemn that teachers should not mix with students. But when you read what we call them methods of teaching technology education, I think I did it in level 300. The book is saying that avoid cheap popularity by freely mixing with students. I remember the book was written by Mr. Eccl. Of course, my father, I would say, yes. When I was in school, he was the HOD, and this is his own book, Methods of Teaching Technology Education. Avoid cheap popularity by freely mixing with them. The them there means the students, and I have this in my head, and it has been helping me a lot. I mean, how dare you a student to come to my office and then be debating with me about maybe football, music, acting, world news. What do you mean? Is the school FIFA? Is the office FIFA office to discuss football matches? It's my office, BBC News Center, where you come and then debate with me about world news. I don't have time for that. You come there to question me on my subject of teaching or your personal issues, and then I'll give you guidance and counseling. Period. That's the end. Devoid of unnecessary matters. Right? We move on. 2. And then, once having planted our feet firmly in eternity, to find joy in the gift of God, which, however, temporary, do bless us in this world beneath the sun. Now, here we are saying that all what you are going to get from God is temporary. Temporary in the sense that they will be needed or they will be required to sustain us in this life. Period. Now, if I'm going to heaven, I won't go in this attack. In fact, I will leave everything and then I will go. So, if God has blessed me to buy and wear this attire, it is still temporary. It is only useful under this sun. Death will cancel this union. Now we start the main book. Going around in circle. Ecclesiastes 1, verse 1 to 8. So I think I will read everything. Ecclesiastes 1, verse 1 to 8. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Mostly, if you go to Amos 1 verse 1, I think Jeremiah also 1 verse 1. That's how they began to introduce. So it is a mere introduction. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. 3. What profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? What do you gain? What at all are you gaining? 4. One generation passes away and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. I was asking that. What do we gain? Even though we go to the main thing. So verse 2 is saying that vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. All what we are dying for, they are all in vain. Now verse 3. What do we gain for all our toil in this life? We are born, we go to school, we work, we marry, we give birth, we die. What at all do we gain? What at all do we gain in this life? And then verse 4. One generation passes away and the another comes, but the earth abides forever. We are all dying and going. We have the first century, now we are on 24, we are in 21st century. So 20 centuries behind us. The earth is still there. People who come to live life, they think that they're going to live forever. You will die at the end. Whether you are wicked or you are righteous, whether you are a sinner or not, you will die. Whether you were doing good or you're doing bad, you will die. Some will go for, they will visit a herbalist. Then some may even swallow an antidote for death. You will still die. Some are witches and wizards. They have been brainwashed that they will never die. They have died and gone. Now we are free. Now, if those from first century are still alive, where will I stay? We are all perishing. So also we will go. That's why you must grow. I'm saying that growth occurs through feeding. If not for death, none will grow. We eat to grow, to age, to die. So I will stay in this room forever. At least I can vacate for someone else to come in to occupy. I can travel. Some are dying, a whole lot. And also in the same form, the new century or the new generation will continue on the former ignorance. I'm still on Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4. One generation passes away and another generation comes. At times, in Ghana, for example, the old are bragging. Yes, I quite bragging that in the olden days, they attended better universities and they were taught better. Fine. I don't dispute it. But when you go to Ghanaian universities, we have these same lecturers who are claiming that during the Gold Coast era or the Kwame Nkrumah era, they were taught better. Some were even trained by the white. Fine, but now you are a lecturer. Very good. Now, upon your years of service, of teaching and lecturing, what have you invented so far? You are claiming that you were taught better during your time. In the olden days was better than these days. Fine, I agree. Fine, I agree. Because I wasn't there, I agree. Better, I agree. And I'm asking you that. What have you invented from this your quality education so far? What can a Ghanaian university graduate do after completion? Most are graduate illiterate. You see, we have illiterate, literate, and graduate illiterate. The worst is to become graduate illiterate. It means you are useless. But they are being taught by these old people who are claiming that they were taught better during their era. Of course, we are in the same century. And when I go for a conference and I'm trying to define this, I ask them that let's cast back our mind to 40 years ago, when maybe some of you were born, or 50 or 60 years or 70 years ago. You were using young phones. Even a phone wasn't that common. Big, huge phones. Sometimes you have to walk or travel from one region to another region just to go and receive a phone call. Were you able to even invent a common young phone? They couldn't. I'm making reference to Ghana. Those who are bragging that they had the best of their education. And I'm here to challenge you that you to come and contend. What have you done for your own student or for your country? You have invented nothing. Now we have iPhone, we have young phones being black and white, we have TVs. My TV is 4K smart. Of course, I don't like this digital and then satellite TV. No, you see me, I believe in quality, as you see me. I just don't like buying fake because I don't have money. People who are rich buy inferior goods. So someone will say that I am not rich to buy from China. Excuse me in case you are listening to me from China, but I'm not insulting. It is a phrase from somebody. It means that the person does not have money to buy. So it is a phrase. I do not have money to buy from China because I am poor. That's why I prefer to buy one thing to last forever. This is LG. I thought 3 inches. 4K Smart TV. During this era, were you able to invent an iPhone? Now we have an iPhone. Of course, I'm recording all the videos using an iPhone. iPhone was invented recently, or in the recent years, not in 1940 or 1940s. Now, supposing that we have people who have attended universities during 1940 and they are now lecturers, have you been able to train your students to manufacture a phone in Ghana? So don't tell me that a formal education is better than today. It is not true. The book of Ecclesiastes is saying that the new generation will take over former ignorance. That's what you must know. New generation will take over former ignorance. So per every generation, there's a limitation. So the next will come to correct and progress it. Simple. So even if you're a father, you expect that your children should go to school, they should rise higher above where you were limited. And this is the sole mandate of any teacher. I always have been training my mentees that they should go afar. I've even been advising them to go and school abroad, precisely based on how our education system has become. You see, so I need to say that I want them to go higher, where I could not reach. So using myself as a generation, I have my limitations, and therefore the younger ones must continue. That's the essence of Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4. That one generation passes away, and other generation comes, whether you want or not. I will expire. You will expire. By 60 years, you are on pension. Where you were employed as a superior CEO, the boss, so when they saw you, they were bowing to you. When you are on pension and then you are going there as a guest. The new head might not even recognize who you are. If you are uncareful, you go there with a demand and it will be turned down. Your term is over. So you go home and rest, and then you live rest in peace. You have no power, authority there again. Your time has passed. Time takes everyone out. Simple. No generation can solve the world's problem once and forever. It is not true. With time, iPhone will become young phone. I have been telling my students that don't struggle yourself for gadgets. They are not assets. A gadget is the same as a human being. It is a liability. The TV can spoil at any time. Of course, I'm using a guard to prevent being destroyed by a power failure. There could be an impromptu light out. These are not assets. Don't put your heart in them because it can easily spoil. For a human being, he or she can easily die. A human being is not an asset. A human being is rather a liability. So gadgets and human beings are all liabilities, are not assets. You see. Now we move on. Verse 5. The sun also rises and the sun goes down and hastens to the place where it arose. Yes, it comes and then it goes. Sunrise and sunset, or sunset and sunrise. That's why you have morning, afternoon, evening, night, dawn, and morning again. The wind goes toward the south and turns around to the north. The wind whirls about continually and comes again on its circuit. It goes and comes. It goes in that order. So to and fro. to and fro, to and fro. It means that nothing will last there forever. At times you feel that the place is so cold, and very soon sun will take over. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Have you ever seen that? The sea is full. If the sea is full, why will God pour rain from heaven onto it again? To the place from which the rivers come, there they return again. So you see that the sea will come to the shore and then will go. Shore, so we say wave. So in that order. All things are full of labor. Man cannot express it. All things are full of labor. Even learning is labor. To work is labor. Everything is labor. The eye is not satisfied with seeing. So continuously, most are addicts. Nor the ear filled with hearing. So I think I'm done reading the whole verse. So now let's see what we have in here. We lean brevity. Sorry, with lean brevity, the book begins. Brevity. Brevity is a noun. Brevity is a noun, I think so. With lean brevity, yes, the book begins. So we mean that the brevity is a noun, meaning shortness of duration. So by fixing it or to replace it, it is a noun meaning shortness of duration, so short. The words of the preacher, son of David, in Jerusalem. Now, so as I said earlier, it was a well-known expression of Old Testament sages and prophets. So I mentioned Amos 1 verse 1, Jeremiah 1 verse 1, Proverbs 30 verse 1, 51 verse 1. They all start to introduce the author or the writer and bear remarkable similarity to the introduction to Jeremiah, the word of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests who were in Anatot. So if you read Jeremiah 1 verse 1, it's what we find there. So he began to introduce himself, King Solomon. Now Solomon moves to thesis. I suppose you understand thesis. In Ghana, if you do Master of Philosophy, MPhil, is when you write thesis. Of course, it's the best of masters actually. So Solomon moves to thesis, which brackets his book, Vanity of Vanities, all is vanity. You would have read Ecclesiastes 1 verse 2. Let's read 12 verse 8. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 8. It was going to rain, and my room was so cold, so I had to put on this my hoodie. Unfortunately, God has taught otherwise, so the rain has been taken over by sun. So at least I feel what the found to, if I use the speed 5, you're going to hear some background noise in the video. So because of that's why I'm sad. Otherwise I would have on the fan and the room would be so cold. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, all is vanity. So Ecclesiastes 1 verse 2, 12 verse 8 are all saying the same thing. Then proceeds directly to identify where the pointers of life lies. What profit does a man have all his labor in which he toils under the sun? I think already I have explained. We are all struggling for nothing. For what? For food and shelter, for supremacy, for promotion. Some have been there are some people who are fond of eating good food. They drink good wine. They go to places for fresh air. They believe that it increases the lifespan of a human being. Now, with all this enjoyment, when it is time for wrinkles, there's nothing that you can do. the enjoyment will not prevent gray hair. Some are using dye to spray the hair. My friend, you are wasting your time. Some things are better left in the natural state. I be safe better. I educate myself. I don't want any artificial body. No. Hey, whether I deform or not, I don't care, because I did not create myself. I respect my body, the way that God created me. I love it. I have never altered anything, and neither will I ever alter. So people are going for tummy tucks, facelifts. I mean, I think you can find this in dressing. If you go to my teachings, you find like dressing. Today's most beautiful man and all those stuff. They buy creams to prevent gray hair, bad hair, wrinkles, aging, anti-aging in some. You know what? When it comes to Ghana, traditionally, when there's a case to be settled and they see people with gray hair, people who have grown with gray hair, at least the gray hair alone is able to calm down tempers. You are 50 years of age, so we assume that at least some, if not entirely white, some it should be black and white, and you have chosen to dye it. Why won't the small boys insult you when they meet you? You see, for all you know, naturally, when we see gray hair, we find it so difficult to insult naturally, unless otherwise. But any child who has been uncultured and accultured, you are told to respect someone. We are people who have gray hair from infancy. We are making reference to someone who has grown and attained the right gray hair. The person is respected. But in your case, you've gone to dye it. So how can we segregate between? Some are even having lines. I mean, haircut lines behind their head too. They have cut their hair down. You call it refusing to grow. Sweat, actually, if you want. So precisely the women wearing some big earrings, and some would dye the hair with some lines, a whole lot. They want to be young by force, wearing miniskirt and showing their part, and then they are in town. So also the men, they have refused to grow. How can you segregate between an adult and a young? You see, some things are better left in their natural state. So I'm asking that, what at all are we achieving upon all our lives? Say you die, my friend, you die, and you still be known that you are going. At times it is seen. You see, you can change your looks, but not your work or your nature. Once you are 70 years, your walking will differ from someone who is 15 years, naturally. So you continue to fake your body changes. But not all things can be faked in this life. Some things are better left in their natural state. We continue. And then start to demonstrate it. Life is worrisomely pointless due to life's brevity. So brevity has been already said, explained that shortness of duration, of course, as a noun. Now, a worrisome will be adjective, actually, and it means exhaustness, to exhaust, okay, in strength or endurance, if I will put. So we say that life is worrisomely pointless. So you can say exhaustness in strength or endurance due to life's brevity. And no matter what you do, you become exhausted. As I was saying previously. And things will even be short. What is short naturally can never be prolonged artificially. In case you're not aware, you will die. You reach 100 years, you will die. By 100 years, I won't be here to teach. I I will be old. I can have some visual impairment. By then, I can call someone to play my videos and I'll be listening. Then this will remind me of my good works when I was young or when I had a chance. Of course, consider Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. So here he's saying that life is worrisomely pointless due to life's brevity. Upon all what that we are doing, we are going nowhere. Sooner or later we are perishing. We are becoming tired. Inferior, you see, so the word here is deteriorating. Becoming inferior in quality or efficiency. Deteriorating or deterioration. We are all deteriorating. Psalms 89 verse 48. The same Psalms 90 verse 10. That the lifespan of every human being is 70 or 80. When it is even 80, it involves burden. That is deterioration. Becoming inferior in quality, in efficiency. In fact, sometimes you even become annoying because you are now old. When you grow, you tend to become a baby. When people have to be guiding you. When you are eating, then there's a babe. You are drooling and someone have to clean. Just as you were babies. Sometimes you become so annoying. If you're not lucky, your children will run away and then they will leave you. The best is that they will employ some of a caretaker to take care of you. Some will even want you to die and go with your trouble because you are worrying them. Now it is their time. They are also married and they are enjoying their lives. So they don't want you to be a burden on them. Forgetting that very soon they are also approaching you. Life. The earth on which life is played out seems to last forever, while we, the actors, continuously come and go. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 1 of what I've read. We will come and go. The earth is still there. My father is dead and gone. My grandmother, from my mother's side, is dead. The father too is dead. My father's mother even died earlier. I didn't see my father's father. I will not last forever. We are all going, one by one. Of course, I had the right time. And different generation or age will come to take over. I think this is the reason why people want to give birth, so that the lineage will be continued. That's all. That's all, nothing else again. Now, furthermore, even if we could abide like the earth or as the earth, life under the sun never gets you anywhere. Very good. Even if you want to live forever, life under the sun never gets you anywhere because the earth moves endlessly in constantly repeated cycles of sun, wind, and sea. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4 and 7. I think I've explained all these things. Hey, we are going nowhere. We are going nowhere. From here, I go to work. Then I come home. That's all. You go and then you come back. You are aging, celebrating your birthday. You are increasing in age. You die and then you go. The earth is still there. Different people will come and continue. In that order. In that order. Where is Moses now? They are all dead. It is the progress of squirrel cage. We all know squirrel. Squirrel. Motion without direction. When the squirrel is in a cage, it goes in cycles or in circles. I want him to go out to explore because they were not created to be in a cage. They were created to move free to climb trees, to live under the earth or inside the earth. So they dig their own holes and then they are in there. That's where they feel safer. So if you catch them, then it will go in circles every day, wanting an opening to go to where it belongs, to go to its rightful habitat officially. So we are, as if we are in a cage. So we move in cycles or in circles, motion without direction. Interestingly, this was precisely the Greek view of history that human events kept cycling in perpetual or continuous repetition of the same event, traveling endless circles, is similarly to a peripatetic man. So this was what was seen and known by the Greeks, that after all, it is the same thing. So as I mentioned, life cycle: you are born, you crawl, you walk, a teenager, you go to school, you marry, you give birth, you grow old, and then you die. That's all. That's all, nothing else. So from crawling to bones, so it is a form of, so from crawling through then there's a bones there. Bones, that's all. It means you go back to where you came from. That's what the Greeks saw. And we attribute this to vagabond, or we can say, so the word is on the board. I think this one, you can see it. This one, peripatetic man. Peripatetic. Who is lost in the bush as a result of choosing his own preferred way, traveling aimlessly from place to place, lacking purpose. So vagabond or peripatetic man is a man who travels aimlessly from place to place, lacking purpose. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to this place. To do what? Oh, I'm just going there. I think when you go to my teaching on evangelism, the goal is therefore, I think I mentioned the same person that Christ, by reading Matthew 28, verse 18 to 20, Mark 16, 15 to 16, Christ said, go. Does not mean that we should become a vagabond, to leave our homes and roam aimlessly as peripatetic man. No, it is not true. We are going to teach, to baptize, and to win souls. So to go therefore is different from peripatetic man. So for this man, we are trying to relate this to life. They are going round in circles as our theme, or the objective in terms of Ecclesiastes 1 verse 1 to 8. Lost in the bush as a result of choosing his own preferred way, traveling aimlessly from place to place, lacking purpose. He has a very long way to go, signifying life without guidance. It leads to nothing. Life without regard for God is meaningless. When you are moving about aimlessly, no purpose, it means you are lost. No one is guiding you, no compass. So it will lead to nothing. So is life without God. So if you are living without regard for God, your life is the same as peripatetic man or vagabond. No wonder it is arduous. No wonder it is arduous. This word is used in forging engineering, of course, as an adjective. Arduous. It means labor. Okay, labor. Hard to accomplish or to achieve. Hard to accomplish. So you can say laborious if you want. Most words are adjective, actually. Of course, if you read, you should be able to know that this is this, this is that. Of course, when I was learning my English, they give you about 5 sentences, and you have to write the part of speech. It wasn't easy. The way I suffer. So at times, I recall some. So I can read a sentence, and then I should be able to tell you this verb, this, Of course, it is by God's grace. It goes nowhere and reveals no purpose or point, even though you are going to struggle, because you are living minus God. Precisely those who are infirm, who are drinking, womanizing, and then messing up. Life is so difficult for you to achieve something. Satan is a very wicked person. Go and see how people have been caring for him before he grant them a car. If God is blessing you, he requires nothing from you. You just worship him wholeheartedly, and he will bless you at his own time. Satan is not so. Even after he has blessed you with a car, you continue to kill or to commit sins and crimes for him. The heavens may declare God's God's glory, Psalm 19 verse 1. And the creation revealed God's power and deity, Romans 1 verse 20. But there is nothing in the world beneath the sun that speaks of the intent and destiny of life. Without help from God, we are left to wander the earth in search of who we are and where we are going. The word wander here is the same as the vagabond. It means that you go and go and go. No purpose, no direction. You are aimless. It was the Bible which gave the world a view of history that has linear. The word linear means straight line, not circumferential. Circumference means circle. Okay, and circumferential or circumference means circle. So linear, never circumferential, purposeful, moving to a consummation similar to an arrow hurtling to its target. So you see that life with God, though not always straight, but we are saying that it is straight. When you shoot an arrow, it moves straight to the target. So hurtling here is a verb, because we are saying that similar to an arrow hurtling to its exact target. So this one you have shot it. So the hurtling here is a verb. It means to move rapidly. To move. So once you shoot it, then it goes. So of course a verb is an action word. So this one should even be known easily. That hurtling is a verb, meaning to move rapidly or forcefully. It goes so by force. In spite of all of laborious labor, our brief sojourn upon the earth satisfies neither eye, nor ear, nor the heart. There's nothing that will make us complete in this life. You can't impress your eye, you can't impress your ear, you can't impress your heart. Now you cannot impress your eye. You will buy and buy and buy and buy. Always you see new things. New phones are coming. New things are always being manufactured. So we are discontent. We are not okay with the ear. We hear. We want to hear more. The heart may find a love. Some men are still cheating on their partner. Ideally, men have been cheating than women. It is so hard to find that a woman has two husbands in Africa. It is even impossible that a woman is married to two. No. Unless the man has been worried, then she may also start to sleep with someone elsewhere. But this normally doesn't even occur in the world. But we have men are marrying 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10, and even above. They are married. They still cheat. Men cheat than women. Actually, me, I say fact. And women love than men. Men cheat more. When the woman is pregnant, he will be cheating on her. Even when the woman is ovulating, some men will still continue to cheat on them. So even the heart is discontent with love, with things that we have affection for. It could be a car. Some has some kind of a profound interest to buy some car. You buy it and you see that, oh, even this car, the new model has come. So I have to go. We attach our heart to it. People have built mansions. They are discontent. Having said that, this will bring us to the end of our teaching. Next week will be chapter 1 and then episode 2. So the theme is the book of Ecclesiastes. Topic is searching for the true meaning of life. Today we looked at chapter 1, episode 1. Next week will be chapter 1, episode 2. Until then, thank you so much for your time and see you next time. Bye bye.